Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about the best quarterback one-hit wonders of all time. Now quarterback, there's more quarterbacks than pretty much any other position. So there are a lot to go through. These are some of the ones that I thought were the most interesting. There are definitely some more. If you guys like this one, make sure you put a like on the video. We'll do another one of these videos in the future. You just let me know. For this list, we're going to start with Tommy Maddox. Now, Tommy Maddox was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the 1992 draft after leaving UCLA a year early. He was expected to take the reins after Elway was done playing, but after being forced into playing time when John Elway was out with a shoulder injury, it became pretty apparent pretty quickly that Maddox would never be the future of the organization. He wasn't meant to be in the NFL. He spent 4 seasons with the Broncos, the Rams, and the Giants before being out of the league entirely in 1997 and becoming an insurance agent. Now, after becoming an insurance agent, it didn't take long for Tommy Maddox to get a chance in the Arena Football League and then the XFL before the XFL failed for the first time. But he was a star in the XFL, earning MVP honors in their only season, and he won the championship game 38-6. Like, Tommy Maddox, might have failed in the NFL, but he was definitely way better than everybody in the XFL, right? So inevitably, he ends up getting re-signed in the NFL to the Steelers to back up Cordell Stewart. He saw limited playing time in 2001 as the Steelers were winning a bunch of games. I believe they ended up going 13-3 in 2001 with Cordell Stewart as their quarterback. Then in 2002, Maddox took over as quarterback in Week 4 and took advantage of the opportunity. The Steelers started 1-3 in the games that Cordell Stewart started, but in the games that Tommy Maddox started, they went 9-2-1, and they finished with a record of 10-5-1. Maddox ended up finishing the season with 2,836 yards on 62% completion percentage and finished the season with 20 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. So it's not, coming out and lighting the world on fire, but a season like that, after being the MVP of the XFL and winning the championship there, everybody thought he was going to be a guy. And then he comes out 2003, Steelers go 6-10. He doesn't have a very good year. And then in 2004, they draft Ben Roethlisberger, and the rest is history. So Tommy Maddox was able to have his redemption story season and then flamed out very quickly. Next quarterback on the list, going to be Tyler Thigpen. Thigpen was drafted by the Chiefs in 2007 in the 7th round. He's drafted out of Coastal Carolina, where he was actually the first quarterback in Coastal Carolina's history. He went 30-8 as a starter in college, but was never really expected to do anything in the NFL. He was the first quarterback of a school's program. Coastal Carolina, nobody expected him coming and do anything in the NFL. But due to injuries and poor play, Thigpen was thrusted into action in the 2008 season. And while the team went 1-10 with him as a starter, he finished the season with 3,000 all-purpose yards, 21 total touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Coming in, being able to light things up like that, being able to, pass the ball, run the ball, doing things as a dual-threat quarterback in a stint, on a team that didn't have much talent. This was a Chiefs team that hadn't been doing very good for a long time at that point. And he came in and was able to put up good numbers. They weren't winning games, but he put up good numbers. The following offseason, the Chiefs went and got Matt Castle, and Thigpen spent the rest of his career as a journeyman quarterback, but at least he has that one season in Kansas City. Next quarterback is a guy that a lot of football fans will remember. It's Rex Grossman, who was actually a stud in college at Florida. Ended up being drafted by the Bears with the 22nd overall pick in the 2003 draft. So coming in, there's a lot of expectation for Rex Grossman. He spent his first 3 seasons in the NFL struggling with injuries. He was barely able to play any games. But then in 2006, he was finally able to stay healthy, and the Bears' defense was playing out of its mind. And one of the best defenses in NFL history. The defense was vital to team success, as Grossman had 7 games of at least 100 passer rating, which is great, but also had 5 games of less than 50, which shows you the inconsistencies that you got with Rex Grossman week to week. One of those less than 50 rating games was the last game of the regular season, where he put up a 0 rating against the Packers. Now, going into the playoffs, the Bears had a great defense. They were barely able to squeak by the Seahawks, but then they beat the absolute shit out of the Saints. When they ended up in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, Rex Grossman was 20 for 28 for 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. They lost that game to the Peyton Manning-led Colts. Rex Grossman spent most of the rest of his career as a backup after that point. So while nobody will ever say, Rex Grossman led the Bears to the Super Bowl and they almost got it, Rex Grossman was a part of a Super Bowl-led team and was able to stay healthy. A lot of people, when you talk about one-hit wonders, Rex Grossman is always going to have a spot at the top because he was on a team that made it to a Super Bowl. Next quarterback on this list is Derek Anderson, who was drafted by the Ravens in 2005, but he was waived on September 20th, real quick, picked up by the Browns the next day. He never played in his rookie season, but when Charlie Fry, quarterback at the time for the Browns, got hurt in 2006, Anderson finished the season at quarterback. After winning the quarterback battle with Fry and the rookie Brady Quinn, he played 14 games and 3 quarters in 2007 and finished the season with a 10-6 record on the back of nearly 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns and 29 interceptions. He was actually named to the Pro Bowl in that 2007 season and won the Most Improved Player award. Following season didn't go as well for Anderson, and Brady Quinn, finally got his chance to try to be the franchise quarterback for the Browns. Of course, Anderson eventually ended up moving on. The rest of his career was filled with mostly backup roles, albeit backing up some incredible quarterbacks like Kurt Warner, Cam Newton, and Josh Allen, but, spent his time getting paid as backup. And the last quarterback on this list, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the most electric quarterback in college football history, Tim Tebow. Not only one of the most electric, one of the best. You look at college careers, Tim Tebow is one of the best college careers of all time. He ended up being drafted in the first round by the Broncos in 2010, where he started the season as a backup. In his rookie year, he was used mostly in the Wildcat formation or as a running quarterback in different formations. But he finally got a chance to take over as a starter for the last 3 games of his rookie year. And then in 2012, Tebow started the season as a backup to Kyle Orton. But he took over for Kyle Orton after the Broncos started 1-3. Tebow only ended up with 1,729 passing yards with 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But he added 660 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. But overall, he had 13 fumbles, 6 of which he ended up losing. Now, the feather in the cap on this Tebow season is the playoff game. He led one of the most electrifying playoff wins of all time when the Broncos beat the Steelers in overtime. I believe it was the first play of overtime, and I believe it was just a slant to Demaryius Thomas. But Demaryius Thomas was able to get past everybody and got loose for like an 80-yard touchdown on the first play of overtime. The very next game, the Broncos had to play the Patriots, where they end up losing 45-10, and Tim Tebow went 9 for 26. Peyton Manning was signed in the next offseason. Tim Tebow was traded to the Jets, and the Tim Tebow era of football was basically over at that point, but it was great while it lasted. And I want to add an honorable mention onto this list, and that's going to be Robert Griffin III, a guy that could have been great, had a really, really good rookie season, won Rookie of the Year, but because of injuries and because of what happened his rookie year, was unable to be the star that we thought. But again, if you like something like this, you let me know down in the comments. We'll do more quarterbacks in the future. If that's what you guys want, just let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and keep coming back for more off-season content, and we'll see you for the next video.